So thank you so much for joining me today, Jalen. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, your major, and what inspired you to join HackAI?
Yeah, so my name is Jalen Francis. I'm a second year. I study computer science and math. Um, and yeah, one big reason why I decided to join the hackathon or Hack AI was that I generally like creating projects, really working on stuff. And I had two friends that were talking about doing the hackathon, and I was I decided I wanted to like join in with them. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, I'm glad. That sounds like it was a good experience for you, for sure. And then could you share one memorable moment or highlight from the HackAI experience?
Yeah, so I'd say one memorable moment is when like you're working late at night and things really aren't working. You're just trying to get through. And then finally you start to have the realization of how to get past that breakthrough. It really
Hmm.
feels good. Um, Definitely a highlight, definitely very memorable. And it helps you really get through.
Love that. No, that sounds like you guys definitely learned a couple of good lessons through this competition. And how did the hackathon challenge improve your technical skills?
Yeah, so the hackathon obviously has a lot of programming ex aspects, and so I had some experience with neural networks before, and yeah, our project heavily relied on that. And doing that project really helped my technical skills at learning how to do said neural networks, and I learned a lot through it. I had to do a lot of research. Another aspect is when you do a hackathon, you're limited in 24 hours to like not only come up with the idea, but also work on that idea. And so it really helped like the engineering process of where you have to like create something, refine it multiple times, maybe change the things up, but just getting something going and making something successful takes a lot of work.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the hard work pays off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties into the next question, but like what was your biggest takeaway or lesson that you learned from Hack AI?
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway I would have is that you don't necessarily need to have a fully fleshed out project. And so that's one thing that a lot of people can like stress out about is I would say don't necessarily focus too much on like all the small details. Um, because a lot of times like when they're judging, they really care about your grander idea, like what you actually want to do, how you did it, and how far you've gone in 24 hours.
I
So
see.
sometimes don't spend too much time on like something very small if it's not going to make a big difference in the project.
I see. I see. And that's definitely a good takeaway to have. And then kind of also going along with that, how did participating in Hack AI impact your career or your personal growth?
Yeah, I would say with my personal growth, it really helped building like helped me develop like confidence like in my engineering skills and like coming up with something. It really felt good to come out of that.
Mhm.
And then I would also say with career, um, I know a lot of business professionals, like when they're looking through, they really like to see hackathon projects and see someone that, is inventive or creative and willing to work.
Yeah. No, I love that. And
Mhm.
what do you think was the most challenging part of the hackathon, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I would say one of the challenging thing is just considering all the pieces involved. Like, so when you first start out and you have the 24-hour limit, um, at first you get going and it starts off pretty well. And you're like, we got a lot of time, we can get a lot of stuff done. But then of course you start to hit that wall where it's challenging to keep going. And so like to overcome that, you have to have like your big idea in mind. Like what do you really want to do? Um, and be strong and try to get through that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just putting all those small pieces together, there's a lot to handle. And I know from personal experiences, a lot of times you gotta present your idea in order to win. And a lot of times the presentation kind of like comes last. It's
Hmm.
usually like very rushed. And so that was one challenge we had too, was we
Yeah.
spent so much time working on the actual project that when it came time to actually present, we didn't have that much time to make a YouTube video, but it still worked out in the end.
There you go. I'm glad. And kind of also tying along with this, were there any specific mentors or team members or even resources that were especially helpful throughout the day?
Yeah, I would say my teammates were very helpful in, creating some of the other components. So I worked a lot on like the neural networks, but we also had like an interface GUI to actually like use the AI models, and so my teammates were very helpful in that. Um, One of my other teammates also really helped with like the training, like coming up with good ideas on like different things to try, doing different research. And I remember just like looking up some YouTube videos on more tutorials on using the neural networks, some different refinements I can make. And
Hmm.
so everyone was pretty helpful.
That's good. That's good. I'm very glad to hear that. And how did your hackathon project impact your approach to future projects?
Yeah, so one impact I would say it made was um, just coming out of it, just again like having more confidence that you're capable of coming up with something and really working. Because if you can do it in 24 hours, given additional time, you could definitely do a lot of other things. But
Yeah.
I I think it really impacted my whole like engineering approach, like on just how to create idea, how to even get started with an idea, and where to
Hmm.
go from there. And so that project really helped my approach to other future projects I worked on.
Yeah, for sure. And what advice would you give to someone who's considering joining their first hackathon?
Mhm. Yeah, so some advice. I know a lot of people are kind of scared of like the hackathons because it's like think you have to pull an all-nighter, or you
Hmm.
have to be some master coder or something like that. Um, but really it comes down to just coming up with ideas and just getting something started, getting something going. If you have a really good idea and you're good at presenting yourself well, you can always win something, even if you're not the best coder. And even
Yeah.
if you're not the best coder, you can definitely learn a lot. Like it's definitely a good experience.
Yeah.
So if anyone's ever interested, I feel like uh they shouldn't they shouldn't be scared or fearful. There's it's not really as intimidating as it sounds.
Hmm.
Especially because a lot of people don't even submit projects half the time. Like they just kind of go
Exactly.
there for some of the fun.
Yeah.
So I would say try it out. If you don't like it, you don't have to submit a project, but if you do, you might get a lot of valuable experience from it.
Yeah, I really like that takeaway. Like, no matter what, you're gonna learn something, you're gonna gain
Mhm.
something. So it's always worth a shot. And that kind of ties on into our last question, which is how has the hackathon community influenced your journey after the event?
Yeah, so I've kind of touched on this earlier. So just like being in the hackathon community, so I think it's helped a lot with just the mindset going into like other projects and stuff. It really does help. Um, Additionally, me and my friends after this event, we decided to do a few more hackathons. Uh, and it was a lot of fun because a lot of times you see like the same people, a
Yeah.
lot of the same people around. And
Hmm.
so it really does feel like a community, especially because we're all like bonded together by having
Yeah,
to
exactly.
work on a massive project. And I think also like being working with my teammates, I became a lot like closer friends with them,
Yeah.
and it was definitely a really positive experience. And so both my teammates I did with Hack AI with, because I know I did the other projects with, and we've become a lot better friends, and we've been working on projects of our own, like non-hackathon stuff. And
Yeah.
so definitely a valuable experience.
Oh, for sure. It sounds like a really great bonding experience and like a great way to gain experience. So those were all the questions that I had for you, but Jalen, do you have anything else that you want to add? Any final takeaways?
No, I think I touched on everything.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much.